Hey, what's going on, everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back today with another daily crypto update. I will be going over my normal schedule as per usual of Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, Neo, Vertcoin, Monero, OmiseGO, Lisk, Cardano, and IOTA. All of those in that order. Any more detailed technical analysis on TradingView in just a second. Other than that, if you're interested in monthly cryptocurrency buying opportunities, you can check out my premium content. I have a link to that in the description of this video, and I actually posted a new buying opportunity today. Other than that, if you're interested in trading altcoins, you can check out Binance. I also have a link to them in the description of this video. And let's get started with the general market update. So Ripple has been pulling back, as you can see, down 22% over the past 24 hours, back under $1 after its massive increase. Pretty normal stuff. There's obviously going to be a pullback after a big rise like that. And Bitcoin still not doing great, relatively flat over the past 24 hours. Bitcoin Cash looks like it might be recovering a little bit. Same thing with Ethereum. Cardano had a great day today, up now above 70 cents and up around 40% over the past 24 hours. So really nice move there for Cardano. Litecoin still not acting well at all, unfortunately. It's been in a downtrend now for quite some time. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but overall the market is pretty mixed. There's still a lot of volatility, although tonight it seems like some of these cryptos are starting to bounce a little bit. Like I said, over the past couple days, I don't really expect any kind of major market bounce until the beginning of January, once the New Year's and this whole solid holiday season is over. Beginning of January, I think that we can get, within the first week, a really nice, strong market bounce. So other than that, just to go over a few more, Neo doing well here, recovering nicely. Rayblox is slowing down the drop. Lisk seems like same thing. And OmiseGO doing well here, up 10%, recovering back above $14.50. So interesting move there for OmiseGO. And some of these smaller altcoins out there are actually doing pretty good. We got Storj up 58%, Poet up 114%. And Request Network doing pretty nice here. QuantStamp up 50%. So that's about it for the general market. Just to recap, still a lot of volatility and it's relatively mixed, right? So some are doing good, some are doing bad, and it looks like they're starting to recover. But let's start off with Bitcoin Cash here. We can see that it actually got a pretty nice bounce back above the middle band at $2,411. That's the brown line right here, and that is a bullish sign. But with that being said, we're still not out of our downtrend, which is what really matters at this point. So as you can see, we do have a bit of a symmetrical triangle formation between our uptrend line over here and our downtrend line. And it is a good sign that it recovered back above the middle band, although it's kind of hanging on it as we're talking. But we're still downtrending on the MACD, still downtrending on the histogram, not really doing all that much on the RSI. So what I'm trying to say here is we really have to break out of the downtrend line for confirmation that we're back in bullish momentum. Otherwise, we're probably going to continue to trade in the symmetrical triangle range, which means that we'd probably drop a little bit lower until we can finally make a decision on which side we're going to break out of. Going over now to Bitcoin, and let's take a look at how it's been acting. So we can see that we did get a pretty big drop here. We're bouncing on our current candlestick, but we're now back below the $13,673 support level, and that's going to be some pretty strong resistance now moving forward. It's very unfortunate that we lost that support level because it was pretty important. Now we're fully downtrending still on the MACD, lost our uptrend on the histogram, and we did get a little bounce back above 43 on the RSI, which is a good sign. If I go ahead and draw my downtrend line, we are still downtrending on the RSI as well. So we're definitely not out of the woods yet for Bitcoin, and first things first, we need to get back above now $13,673. But even after that, we have our previous uptrend lines that are going to act as resistance, and then this $15,814 level. That'll be yet another resistance level before we can get to $16,644, which is the final resistance before we're back to the all-time highs. So overall, it's not looking great here for Bitcoin. We have the middle band that's also moving downwards, and there's going to be a lot of stuff pushing the price lower. So at best, I would say we can expect some consolidation here at around this $13,000 range. I should point out that we will probably get a test of this $11,427 mark again in the next couple of days. I think that's definitely a possibility. especially if there's not a bounce very soon. So let's go over now to Ethereum and take a look at how it's been doing. Ethereum slowing down a little bit. We broke back below our middle band, and we're currently in between our $691 mark and $715. So that's this very tight range that we're in right now. And for the time being, it looks like with the middle band, with the Bollinger Bands contracting so much, as you can see towards the price, we're probably going to get a lot of consolidation around the $700 area right over here, and that'll probably continue a little bit longer. That's also kind of confirmed by the MACD that's just downtrending for the time being. Same thing on the histogram, and we're pretty flat on the RSI. So until we see those things start to kick back up and we get maybe a crossover back above the orange line, we can just expect some consolidation at around the $700 mark. Let's go over now to Litecoin, and this has definitely been one of the bigger cryptos that's not been acting great. With that being said, though, there's actually some pretty interesting developments in the price right now. We put in somewhat of a double bottom at around $210, let's say. That's pretty much in line with our lower Bollinger Band, which is at $211. And what that means is that we're starting to, at least temporarily, slow down the dropping, and a little bit of a support level put in at around $211, which is a good sign, right? Because we have been pretty much dropping nonstop, and that's caused by this downtrend line, which is definitely putting a lot of pressure on the price. MACD still downtrending, same thing on the histogram and RSI. So again, we're going to want to see that start to come back up if we want to make sure that we can get a crossover above the downtrend line and then move back towards those higher levels. But for now, it looks like we may have stopped the dropping for the time being, and we're just going to probably consolidate a little bit longer at around $220, and then I can definitely see this kicking back up above that downtrend line and maybe just consolidating a little bit more before going higher. But if it's not able to get, slow down at least consolidate here basically, and it drops even more, then we probably will get a test again of $161, which wouldn't be the best sign, right? Let's go over to Ripple now. And like I said, Ripple got its massive increase over the past couple of days. So it is slowing down today and dropping a bit. We can see that we put in an all-time high of $283. Definitely put in a bit of a top here in the short term with this price action and our very long upper wick, which means that buyers weren't able to sustain these higher price levels for the time being, which, like I said, is pretty normal because this was definitely an overextended move. And now we have some pretty interesting things happening. We have a bearish divergence on the RSI, right? So we're actually downtrending on the RSI while the price is still uptrending, and that's a bearish divergence, which means that we probably will see a further drop in the near future. For now, the MACD is still looking okay. Same thing on the histogram. It is starting to top off a little bit, and I think it is the beginning of a bit of a pullback here for Ripple. So I just put in the short-term downtrend line, and we can expect the price. We are now back into the Bollinger Band range, which is already a good sign, but there's a good chance that we come back and test maybe this $1.40 level, $1.50. And if things get a bit worse, we could come back and test our uptrend line, but there is going to be quite a bit of support at around that $1.50 mark. So you should be aware of that. Moving forward, and I'm not bearish on Ripple or anything. I actually like Ripple, but it's true that it got a bit of an overextended move very quickly. Let's go over now and take a look at how NEO has been doing. It struggled over the past couple days, but recovered itself nicely, and it's been holding really well, bouncing off the middle band. That's currently sitting at $62. It's the brown line right here. So we are now back above $70, and we're trying to get back above our uptrend line. We can see that we didn't really manage to do that just yet. It is looking like a possibility here, a definite possibility in the next couple days. So we'll be keeping an eye out for that to happen. If it does happen, of course, it means that we can pretty quickly get back above $77, which means that we'll only need to get back to $84 to be back to our all-time highs. Otherwise, we may trade a little bit more slowly and, move towards this $77 mark without breaking above the uptrend line, and that's fine as well. It just means that we'll put in a little bit more consolidation. Right now, our MACD avoided really dipping below the orange line. We had a small dip, but we didn't have any kind of major crossover or anything. And we're back in the positive range on the histogram, moving back up on that RSI in the symmetrical triangle range. So basically, it still has a little bit of resistance ahead with this uptrend line and $77 mark. But after that, we should really see a nice increase once again for NEO, and this time it could probably push it towards $100. So I think that could happen within the next month probably if the market starts to recover in the meantime. Moving over to Vertcoin, looks like we have pretty nice green candlestick here. We haven't had many of those in the past couple days. A lot of flat doji candlesticks or just red candlesticks, and downtrending for quite a while on the MACD. Same thing on the histogram. It looks like we might be flattening out there a little bit and flattening out a little bit on the RSI as well. So possibly the dropping has slowed down. We're back above the $6.30. We're actually currently kind of testing that, but it looks like we may manage to make our way back above $6.35. That's the level we want to be back above, right? We want to avoid dropping back towards this $4.85 support level. Of course, we do have support there, but it would damage the technicals, right? And right now, unfortunately for Vertcoin, it looks like it's losing a bit of steam. It has been losing a bit of steam. That's really what's been pushing the price down. We have this downtrend line that's been putting a lot of pressure on the price. We also have the middle band, the brown line that's been downtrending, and there's going to be a lot of resistance ahead. So it's going to take some time for things to recover, but we really want to make sure now the next step is going to be to watch for that MACD crossover. That's really going to be the main indication for when things are going to start looking up again for Vertcoin. And at least here we put in a bit of a higher low over the past two candlesticks. Let's go over to Monero now and take a look at how it's been doing. So Monero got a green candlestick here back above $300. We didn't manage to get back above $327 though. Middle band pretty flat right now. Same thing with the Bollinger Bands, downtrending on that MACD, MACD histogram, and the RSI kicked up back a little bit. Let me go ahead and take a look if we broke above the downtrend line on the RSI, and yeah, no, it looks like we're kind of testing it, maybe just peaking above that downtrend line, but not a major breakout just yet. At least we put in a higher low, and we held that $300 mark, which is already a good sign. But like I said, Monero has been going up so much that it is time for it to take a breather, and I think we're probably just going to see some consolidation between $300 and $355 moving forward. Once we're able to break above $355, then we'll be back into our more bullish momentum. But as you can see, the Bollinger Bands, the middle band, are starting to flatten out after the uptrend, and that probably means that we're going to see some consolidation for the short term, right? Maybe 2 to 3 weeks. That may seem like a long time, but in the near future, a bit more consolidation, I would say. Let's go over to OmiseGO. OmiseGO looks like we got that increase back above $14.50. We're holding this middle band. That's at $14.70. Got the bounce off that on the current candlestick, and we are dipping a little bit lower now. Didn't manage to get that crossover, unfortunately, on the MACD, which is something that we have to pay attention about. Didn't get the crossover either on the histogram. We didn't go into the positive range. RSI still looking okay, still uptrending. We're going to be just making sure that we don't want to dip back below the $14.50 level, especially now that we're fully holding above that, right? So at least if we hold above that, that's fine, but we may see a little bit more consolidation based on how this upper Bollinger Band is moving lower before we can see a move back towards $20. Overall, though, it is one of the better acting cryptocurrencies because it's getting some consolidation in the higher ranges, which is a pretty good sign. Let's go over to Lisk now. And Lisk getting a nice, interesting bounce actually off the uptrend line. Got that on the previous candlestick and on the current one. Also bounced off the downtrend line and on the middle band. That's at all around $17.64. And that's major support, obviously, because we have many levels there. So the MACD, however, did cross over and is now downtrending. We're now negative on that histogram. And RSI not doing that much. So moving forward, we can see that we have a little bit of a triangle formation here where we may trade in between this range just a bit longer before we can either break to the upside or the downside. But we do have a lot of support here that should keep the price moving slowly but surely higher. And that's what I expect for now. So I would say we're either going to get some consolidation or just trade sideways until we can get a breakout higher. Let's go over now to the next cryptocurrency of the daily crypto update, which is going to be Cardano. And like I said at the beginning, Cardano has been acting very well. We can see a really nice green candlestick breakout there over the past couple days, and acting very strongly here, not really losing any strength at all, putting in higher highs and higher lows. We are now, however, trading above the upper Bollinger Band, always a hard area to sustain. We've done that before at the previous breakout, and we've actually been in a very similar pattern, right? We had our increase, bit of consolidation, pullback, and then got the next breakout. Then we had a bit of consolidation, pullback, next breakout, and just look at the MACD, we can see the exact same type of price action. It's actually been even stronger more recently, but very similar, right? We bounced off the orange line, so even more strength this time around, and we're now trading all the way up to that 84 level on the RSI, which is pretty high. You do have to be aware of that. So we could see things start to fall back down a little bit. We have a longer upper wick on the candlestick today, and I could see things start to slow down. It's true that it is the first day that we broke fully above, I guess. I mean, we had a little bit yesterday, but if we look at the previous breakout, we did manage to stay for a couple trading days above that upper Bollinger Band, so that definitely could happen again. 5,719 Satoshis is the all-time high that it put in. We could definitely move a little bit higher, but like I said, we'll slowly but surely re-enter the Bollinger Band range back in normal standings. Overall, though, it has been acting very well and one of the stronger cryptocurrencies out there, so you can't really complain. Let's go over now to the final cryptocurrency of the daily crypto update, which is IOTA. And IOTA getting a bit of a bounce here off the downtrend line, still not acting very strong. It's trying to get back above $3.45. Downtrending on that MACD, flattening out on the histogram, and broke above the downtrend line on the RSI, which is a good sign. It's also a pretty good sign that we're flattening out, maybe even putting a little bit of an uptrend on that histogram, which is a bullish divergence. But for now, still acting pretty weak. Want to make sure that we can get above $3.45 and then break back above that middle band at $3.90. Once we manage to do that, we just have to get back above $4, and then things will start looking like they're going to clear up a bit. But for now, we're still downtrending on that middle band and Bollinger Bands, so there is still a lot of downward pressure on the price, right? And I can go ahead and even draw in, actually, sorry about that, I wasn't paying attention. We have our downtrend line over here, and we actually managed to get a full break above that, and we're still holding above it for the timing. As you can see, there's still some resistance ahead, as I mentioned previously, but at least we broke out of this downtrend. That could be the sign that we're going to stop, dropping more here and at least get back above $3.45, maybe consolidate there a little bit longer, but things are recovering slowly but surely for IOTA. With that being said, everyone, this is the end of the daily crypto update. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.